Our Pacific Northwest tour started in Denver, Colorado and was over a 4,600-mile loop. The road trip begins. Met up with Stephanie, a field hockey friend from Ohio State in Billings, Montana. Bangtail Divide, our first NW epic ride. Scott believes in doubling up. You can never be too safe out there. First trailhead, where we learned how some people get ready, Montana style. Some nice fast flowy trail. Not pictured? 37 switchbacks on the climb up at the beginning. Gravity got us up to 33 miles per hour on this 7-mile stretch of mainly downhill road back to the car. We were lucky to end our first long day of riding with an evening at the Bozeman Hot Springs. Our first wildfire sighting of the trip as we were leaving Montana and approaching Idaho.
The smoke got me, I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
This trip is brought to you by camping, the economical way to reduce your trip lodging costs. Something smells fishy about this place.
Seattle, you're supposed to cheer!
Our time in Seattle was shortened to the point, hence the needle. We arrived in the dark to our campsite just outside of Whistler. We awoke to beautiful scenery. Comfortably numb, our first Black Diamond trail on the trip. We did not know what we were getting into. For me, this characterizes our experience with the trail the best and is all I really remember. Lots and lots of walking the bike due to very technical uphill. There happened to be a mountain biking event at Whistler called Crankworks while we were passing through, so we decided to stay an extra day and check out the park and festivities. It was our first time not, air quote, earning our turns, air quote. Let's just say the experience reinforced the many opportunities for skill progression. After perusing a magazine, an experience was added to the bucket list this day: heli biking. We had dinner in Vancouver on our way out of Canada. The city seems like it has a lot to offer that I want to explore more. Next up is the Sandy Ridge Trail System. This system has some of the best flow we've ever ridden on Quid Pro Flow. Unfortunately, we didn't capture a good video of it. The rock gardens here are no joke. The Night Riders stay true to their name and take it very, very seriously. Passing through Portland, Oregon, we stopped at the detention bar in Kennedy School, an elementary school built in 1915 that was repurposed as a hotel with a bar and a restaurant. Next up is Mackenzie River Trail, and the lush terrain is an apt description. Scott enjoyed this lava rock so much that he bought a house with it. Some of the bluest water I've ever seen in my life.
I just broke my bike. That rock happened. Well, we get a new bike.
Oh, and he did, after camping out for it 643 days later. I was kind of in need of a new bike too, so the era of the bike twins had begun. When you get the opportunity to drive your bike through a tree in a safe and controlled manner, you take it. Near our next ride, we experienced a crazy microclimate on the drive down to the coast, about a 30-degree shift in the short drive from the top to the bottom. Next up is Paradise Royal Loop, a ride that was on a top 10 list from Men's Journal. Overall, we were underwhelmed by this ride.
Yep.
I acted like I did some trail maintenance, but it was more like the sword in the stone, and I did not possess any special powers that day. After the underwhelming ride, we set our sights on Moab, where we knew we wouldn't be disappointed. Next up, Downeyville Classic in Downeyville, California. With a name like that and a shuttle service, we knew we were in for a good time. If a tree falls in a forest and there's no one around to hear it, hear the saws making it into a bench. Just when I thought it couldn't get any more beautiful than Mackenzie River Trail, Tahoe Rim delighted us with views for days. Let's go with the breathtaking scenery as to why the Night Riders finished this one in the dark. I was a bit surprised to see snow still in August at under 9,000 feet. We made sure to go slow on this ride so that we could witness this amazing sunset. We made it to Moab and gave our bikes much needed baths, and Scott even gave his bike a siesta on the bed. We have finally arrived at the #1 rated trail in the world with almost 8,000 feet of descent and over 34 miles. Being that it is a shuttle ride, I was not mentally prepared for the start, summiting the Burro Pass in the LaSalle Mountains. The trail description for this segment says to climb hard as the oxygen rarefies, which was accurate. But oxygen is always rare on my rides. Weird.
Yeah. I went through it. Nice bike.
Recordings can be a dangerous, dangerous thing sometimes. Scott had carpal tunnel for months after this section. The views of the Colorado River here were breathtaking. Yep, definitely why I had no breath. We were 7 hours from being in line of the path of the total solar eclipse, so we decided to make a detour up to Rexburg, Idaho. And it was worth it. The photo top left was taken by a photographer near us in the same parking lot. We witnessed shadow bands, which are caused by the refraction by Earth's atmospheric turbulence of the solar crescent as it thins to a narrow slit, which increasingly collimates the light reaching Earth in the minute just before and after totality. Now back to Moab for Captain Ahab, which was a nice trail close to town. We swung by Canyonlands and saw Upheaval Dome, which it is debated if it was created by a meteorite or from more natural processes on Earth. Last, and least, Phil's World. We were pretty exhausted by this point, apparently forgot to GoPro the ride, and dipped out of this ride just a touch early. We were unimpressed, but it is consistently rated very highly on MTB Project, so we think we owe it another try. Obligatory pizza and beer at completion.